Hey there, kiddos. Welcome back. Have you ever heard of electrolysis? Well, no. Well, let me break it down for you. When I say the word electrolysis, I'm simply talking about a fancy way of using electricity to break apart ionic compounds into their original elements. It's kind of like a cookie broken into half. That looks yummy. So why do we need electrolysis? Well, it depends on what you want to accomplish. Sometimes scientists use electrolysis to separate pure elements from its compounds. So for example, aluminium. We don't get that in nature as aluminium. We have it in a compound called bauxite ore. Now, to get the aluminium out of that, we have to go through electrolysis. Otherwise, we just wouldn't have the aluminium and we wouldn't be able to get our Coke cans. So that's how useful electrolysis can be. Some of you might just wonder about how these astronauts don't run out of oxygen in space. Well, first of all, they bring oxygen with them from Earth. They have tanks filled with oxygen that they can use to breathe and stay alive. But that's not all. They also have this amazing machine that can make oxygen from water. That's right, it's like a magic trick, but with science. It's called an electrolysis unit. And what this unit does, it runs electricity through water and it breaks it into its elements, oxygen and hydrogen. The oxygen is then collected and used for breathing. It's kind of like a high-tech version of using a straw to blow bubbles in your drink. Bubble, bubble, bubble. So even though there's no air up in space, the astronauts, or if you're a Russian astronaut, a cosmonaut, they can still breathe easy thanks to these amazing oxygen tanks and their fancy electrolysis machine. They're kind of like superheroes, I guess, keeping themselves alive in a place where humans aren't supposed to be. So what on earth is an electrolyte? Am I supposed to drink it? Well, actually, yes. Electrolytes are little particles in your body that help your muscles and nerves work properly. And guess what? You can find them in all kinds of drinks, from sports drinks to coconut water. But when we talk about electrolytes in the context of electrolysis, is kind of like the cars on the road. That's what the solution is, the cars on the road. And the electrolytes is kind of like a traffic cop, directing the flow of electricity and making sure it reaches all the ions evenly. So when we're doing electrolysis, we add an electrolyte to the solution to make sure the electricity can flow through the solution and cause the desired chemical reaction. So does this work for all compounds? Well, you can use it on all kinds of things. You can use it to split water into hydrogen and oxygen, to extract pure metals from their ores like bauxite. It's kind of like a mad scientist in a lab. It really depends on what you want to achieve. To summarize, electrolysis works on ionic compounds and they have positive and negative ions that are attracted to each other. So when you pass an electricity through an ionic compound, you can break it into its individual ions. Yes, it's a magic show. You turn one thing into two. So you can use it on table salt, and you can turn that sodium chloride table salt into salt, into sodium and chloride ions. Sodium is a metal, and chlorine is a gas that's used to disinfect swimming pools. Pretty cool. It's kind of like using electricity to play a giant game of molecular Jenga. Now, I know all this sounds complicated, but trust me, it's super cool. And the best part is you don't have to be a science genius to understand. Electrolysis is simply using electricity to break apart compounds, and you can use it on anything that is of ionic compound. So there you have it. Electrolysis sounds like a big scary word, but it's really a fun way to play scientist. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more science fun.